check out the GameStop next door, and this ended up being a more surprising visit. Wow, check this out, guys. This is really cool. This Diddy Kong Racing VHS tape. That's pretty good. I might take that for 12. Hello everyone, it's Austin, and we are back with another episode of my $10 Nintendo collection series. If you're new to the channel, we pretty much started with a $10 bill, and each and every week we've been going to thrift stores, pawn shops, game stores, looking for items that we could potentially flip. And with that flipped profit, we can use that money to purchase Nintendo games to build a huge collection. By the time this video releases, I believe it's going to be Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas to you all. Hopefully you guys got a lot of presents. Hopefully you guys get to spend a lot of time with your friends and families. I always participate in White Elephants, Secret Santas, and we're always doing things like that during this time of the year. To start off this video though, I wanted to ask you guys all a question. It's going to be, what is your favorite Nintendo multiplayer game that you've played within this past year? Nintendo is known for being such a family-friendly company. Their consoles are inviting for multiplayer games, and there are a couple of multiplayer games that I've been playing with my friends and family. The first game that I've been playing a ton the past couple of months is this Puyo Puyo and Tetris. Specifically the Tetris 2 game. I don't know how or when I got this game, but we've been playing this Tetris battle pretty much, where you can play up to 4 players. You break blocks, send lines to other people. I remember the old days on Facebook where there used to be a lot of games that you could play on there, and Tetris Battle was a really big one at that time. But recently I've been playing a lot of Tetris Battle with my family, and we just have a blast playing this. Other than that, we've been playing a lot of Mario games on the Nintendo Switch. The Switch is just so easy to carry and bring along and set up. So that's mainly the Nintendo console that I play. We got this Mario Strikers Battle League on the Switch as well. I haven't played this one a ton. Can't forget about Mario Party Jamboree. There are just so many new modes that they have added, and maps are great as well. And then lastly, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Still playing that game till this day. Back to this collection though, we didn't really pick up too much last week, so hopefully we can find some stuff to pick up this week. We've been selling a ton of stuff on eBay, so can't wait to tell you guys about that. Here we are at our game showcase, and we actually have a ton of sales for today. Let's start off down here with this game. This Need for Speed Carbon actually sold for around 15 bucks, and we picked it up for 2 or 3 bucks at a pawn shop. The next item, we got this T25 Beta. This is a workout DVD collection set, and we sold this one for I think $14.50 and picked it up for $1 at the bins. The next item we have is this Claudius DVD set as well. This one we sold for $22.50 and picked it up for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 bucks at a Goodwill. The last item that we have is the Celebrity Deathmatch. So this one sold for around 14 bucks as well, and picked it up for 3 or 4 bucks at a flea market. So not a bad assortment of stuff, I guess. Gonna get all of this packaged and shipped. After eBay fees and shipping, this is how much we'll get to add back to our game fund. Out here at the Goodwills this week, and checking out this Goodwill that I typically do find stuff on. This awesome little rack right here is where they keep all the video games, and I'm seeing a lot of Xbox 360 games. Check this out, this Fable 2. It's my favorite Fable game. It is complete too. I think this is like the only way to actually play this game is on the Xbox 360. Actually, I think this is backwards compatible on the Xbox One as well, and not sure if they enhanced it or anything, but really good game. They've got it here for $2.99, and it's actually yellow tag this week, so a lot of these games are half off. If I simply don't find much this week, I might just end up grabbing a lot of these games. They've got NFL Fever, Alvin and the Chipmunks. Okay, maybe nothing too special right here, but down here we got Kung Fu Panda, the actual Kung Fu Panda game, and it is complete. Also yellow tag, so these games are going to be $1.50. We got Deus Ex, and then also Mass Effect 3. Oh, some pretty interesting games. No Nintendo games really, except for this Barbie game, which isn't even orange tag. A couple of Xbox One games. Over here you got Halo 3, my favorite Halo game. I played this a ton online. This was like the golden era of Halo. The franchise is just simply not the same anymore. I'm not sure if it will ever be back to that great era. Over here we got Rocksmith as well. I know one of these Rocksmith games holds a little bit of value, but probably not this one. But it's also yellow tag, so again, if I don't find much here, maybe I'll just grab a couple of these games. Max Payne 3, I think it's missing a disc to some PC games, Age of Wonders. Just gonna quickly show you guys the media section over here too. Really a small selection of Blu-rays, I guess. Nothing really too interesting here. Haven't really looked too much at DVDs while thrifting. They just take a long time to go through and look for specific ones that hold value. Maybe I'll start diving into DVDs more if I don't happen to find video games or other items to flip. Oh, just saw this Xbox game right here. Harley Pasternak's Hollywood Workout. Wow, I've never seen this before on the Xbox 360. But I think we're just going to be coming away with 3 games. We got Rocksmith, Mass Effect 3, Fable 2, and Halo 3. These will probably just be going into a trade-in pile and building that up for my next trade-in. After the Goodwill, I decided to check out the GameStop next door, and this ended up being a more surprising visit. Ended up getting some interesting items here. After looking over all of the shelves, I spotted a bucket full of Xbox 360 and Wii games. I asked the cashier people if they knew about these games, and they said that these games have been sitting here for a couple of days. Apparently these were games that GameStop did not accept, so they kind of just left them on the floor here. I took a peek at some of these games, and there were some interesting ones. These games, of course, were not for sale, but still decided to look over them and asked the employees if they would allow me to get some. Are these games for sale? Do you know, or?
Those were games that we couldn't take in, so yeah, those were just basically free for all at that point, because those are games that we couldn't take in.
Yeah, they not in the system, you can't take them. That's correct.
Oh, okay. There's only a couple that I was interested in, I guess, but yeah. Are you guys sure? You guys?
No, I'm
someone just like.
I looked at those games,
Okay, cool. I'll like grab a handful. After speaking to the employees, they did confirm that these were games that GameStop did not accept, and I was free to actually take some if I wanted to. I told them I was only going to grab a handful and pretty much leave the rest for whoever else wanted to take some. I did find some pretty interesting titles in here as well. I was surprised they didn't take these. But there were a lot of sports titles and lower end games in here that just didn't really make sense for me to grab. I even found some great Wii games in here that I will be adding to the collection, and since all of these will pretty much be for free, really happy with this stop. This is why you always gotta check out GameStop. You just never know what can happen. Again, there were a lot of sports titles and lower end games, Call of Duty games, Halo games. Nothing really special enough for me to add to my collection. And I guess I'm not greedy enough to take the whole bucket with me. They only told me I could take a couple of games, and I just wanted to leave some for whoever else stopped in next. But yeah, all in all, really happy that I stopped in today. I got to get some free games to add to our $10 Nintendo collection. After looking through all of the games, I did come away with around 6 games right here. Got some Wii games that I'm going to add to the collection. Got a couple of games that I could possibly be flipping as well, and some games just to add to a trade-in pile. Back at our game showcase, and we got some sales. The first item we sold is going to be down here. This SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, missing a manual even, and I believe this one sold for around $18.50. Picked it up for $2 or $3 at a pawn shop. The next item we have is this one, this brand new 3-week yoga retreat DVD set. This one sold for $22, and we got it for around $2 or $3 at a thrift store. The last item we got is just this Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition on the Xbox. This one sold for around $15.50, and we picked it up for $2 or $3 at a pawn shop. Gonna get these packaged and shipped after eBay fees and shipping. This is how much we'll get to add back to our game fund. What's up, guys? We might be doing things a little bit different for this episode. We're actually out here checking out a convention this week. It's called Happy Con, and it's run by some people that actually own a video game store inside of the mall. So we're at the mall today, and they're going to be having this nice convention. There's going to be a lot of vendors. I think it's more of like a toys, collectibles, maybe some video games hopefully we can find here, but we'll be looking for anything Nintendo related. If we can find some good game deals, maybe we'll pick some up as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, so finally made it inside, had to get some change and stuff. They actually have some special guests here too, which I do not know these people. But let's take a peek over here. We got some comics and collectibles over here too. Alright, looks like I spotted some games over here. Oh, this is a pretty good one. Looks like it's reprinted though. Overall, some pretty interesting games, especially on the PS2. Some games I haven't seen before. Budokai 3 on here. And Xenosaga for $25. I feel like that's a really good price on this. I haven't seen this before either. Not seen too much Nintendo stuff though. Wow, check this out, guys. This is really cool. This Diddy Kong Racing VHS tape. Really tempted to pick this up too. They got it for $15. I've never seen this before, and big fan of Diddy Kong Racing and 64. Rumble Pack. I don't know. It looks like it's a Nintendo Power. So some of these must have released with, or the only way you can get them is through Nintendo Power. This one looks really interesting as well. They got it 40 on this Invasion of Nintendo. It's looking like they got a ton of vendors out here for today. And check out these Godzilla plushes. Never seen these before. Got a zipper for the mouth. All kinds of figures over here too. What is this? Tons of Funko Pops here, and these are really cool looking ones. Or maybe they like added these like little glitter things on there. Small selection of games over here. Don't see this too often. Alright, so I already checked out a ton of booths and haven't picked out anything yet. So see a bunch of games over here. See what kind of prices they got on these. Looking over these N64 games, and I finally found this Kirby game. I just rarely find this game, and they got it for $50. I wonder if they'll negotiate a little bit on this. How much did you guys have on this Cars game? Oh, is that with a bundle? Oh, okay. All right, never mind. These are all probably in $10. $10 on that? Okay, I'll think on it. After looking at a couple of game booths, their prices were just a tad bit high and not worth picking up, but this fella right here actually had some very solid prices on his video games, and this was definitely the place I wanted to be at to spend some money. Checking out these NES games, and I found this Kirby game, heard some great things about it. And then looking over the Wii section, he actually had some very solid prices on these Wii games, and some really interesting titles as well. You had that Battalion Wars, you got some Pokemon games. And then I spotted this Mario All-Stars. I've never owned this, and for $30, that's such a solid deal. This guy definitely had prices that were a little below eBay prices even. I spotted this Zelda Skyward Sword. I've heard great things about this game as well, and for $20, I'm not sure if I can pass this one up. Also a nice selection of PlayStation 2 games.
Everybody was like you.
Yeah, now you gotta like buy stuff, you gotta clean up all your inventory. It's good, it's worth cleaning up. All your stuff is pretty clean.
It's fun, you know?
I think this price came off or something.
Okay. think this one I have for 12.
Oh, okay.
Has some banners.
That's pretty good. I might take that for 12.
I had like 4 copies last year, and they were like slow sellers. So I'm like,
Really?
yeah.
Alright, I just got 3 things, I guess.
Okay. We got 12, 15, and 7. I can do 45.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask for that.
Round it down.
But yeah, cool. Do you take cash or call? So picked up a couple games from there. Really good prices on these. Spent around 45 already. So we'll just look around some more. I might just end up going back to his booth because he had some really good stuff in there. You know, overall, this convention is really great. They have so many vendors selling all types of items. It's not just one specific thing. Really loving this Godzilla stuff that I'm seeing. Toys, action figures, cool little posters like this. And Funko Pops are everywhere still. And they do sell really well. They usually give vendors usually give tons of deals on these, like buy 2, get 2 free or things like that. There ended up being one more booth that actually had some decent prices on their games. They had a stack of GameCube games right here, and a couple of them were under $15. The first game I saw was this Prince of Persia game for 10 bucks. Never played this game, but I've heard great things about it. They got this Sonic Mega Collection also for 10 bucks. And then lastly, I spotted this Naruto game for 10 bucks. For sure gonna grab this one too. Wasn't planning on just picking up GameCube games, but for these $10 prices, absolutely worth the pickups.
We have some more in our, if you're ever in our shop, we have more in our shop too.
Okay. Are you guys from?
West Bend, it's like 40 minutes.
I'm always in West Bend. I don't. You guys just opened?
April 23rd, or like 2023.
Holy
so
cow.
we've been there for a little bit.
All right, I've just got 3 games.
Okay.
We're back in the game room, guys, and that wraps up the game hunting for this week. Let's check out what we picked up. Starting off at a Goodwill, and we just found some pretty cheap Xbox 360 and PS3 games. Decided to just grab these because these were all around $1.50 each. Most of these will probably just be going into a trade-in pile, and hopefully we can do another trade-in episode soon. But the first game we got is Halo 3 on the Xbox 360. My favorite Halo game. I don't think most of these games hold too much value. The next game we got is Mass Effect 3. I haven't played these Mass Effect games yet still. I've only heard great things from these games though. We picked up Fable 2, my favorite Fable game as well. Can't believe we found so many Xbox 360 games at a Goodwill still. And since these were yellow tagged and half off, these had to have been sitting there for at least a week. And then lastly, we picked up Rocksmith on the PlayStation 3. I know some of these Rocksmith games do hold a little bit of value as well. We made a pretty interesting visit to GameStop. Again, they had a bunch of games just sitting in a bin, and it had been sitting there for a couple of days. I guess somebody must have brought in tons of Wii games and Xbox 360 games, and they just didn't take them, so the person just didn't want them and just left it there. For me, it was pretty much being at the right place at the right time, and I was able to snag 6 games. The first one is Tropico 4. Big fan of these Tropico games. I haven't played these too much though. Picked up Just Cause 2. I didn't play a lot of these Just Cause games either. I remember playing the first one on the original Xbox. And yeah, pretty cool open world game. We got this Test Drive game. I know this one holds a little bit of value, and we'll probably be flipping some of these games. Same with this Formula 1 game. I haven't really seen this game or played it either. Well, it looks like another racing simulator. We got Star Wars Force Unleashed 2. This is one game that we will be adding to the collection. Played a little bit of the first one, but haven't really played the second one. I'm not sure if these have released on like the Switch or anything like that. I would absolutely love to check this one out. And lastly, this one really stuck out to me. This is Alien Monster Bowling League. The graphics and art style for this game just look really cool. But I guess it's just another bowling style game. Lastly, we made a visit to Happy Con, which is a convention going on in my city. We don't have a lot of conventions in my city, and I just don't go to a lot of conventions, but always happy to go and support the local vendors there. The first couple of booths that I went to, the games were just way overpriced. I'm not sure if they mark them up for the convention or if they're consistently kept at that price and they go to a lot of conventions and they don't ever take the time to lower the prices. But there were 2 vendors there that actually had very great prices on the games, so happy I was able to pick something up. At the first booth, I got 3 games. I got this Glover game on the N64, picked this one up for about $15, and this is like a 3D platformer style game. The N64 was just famous for having 3D platformers. It was a really strange game, I'd say. You get to play as this glove with 4 fingers, and you got these marble balls that give you different abilities. There's a lot of worlds that you get to explore, so yeah, it looks like a ton of fun. We picked up Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. This is a pretty unique Final Fantasy game as well, released on the Nintendo GameCube. And the unique feature with this game is that it is multiplayer, but requires you to have a Game Boy Advance and the adapters for it. So you can play with up to 4 players. I'm gonna actually show you guys this picture on the bottom right here. This was one of the first real-time fighting Final Fantasy games. Wasn't reviewed too great, but they did make sequels to this game, so must have done decently well. And then we picked up Zelda Skyward Sword on the Nintendo Wii. Another amazing Zelda game. It's got a charming art style, beautiful story and cinematics, and is probably considered the best game on the Nintendo Wii. Gameplay wise, it does use motion controls, but I've heard that it still plays amazingly well. And then at the last booth, I just picked up some really cheap games. You just can't go wrong with $10 GameCube games. First game we got is Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. This is an absolute classic by Ubisoft. This game is best known for its awesome gameplay, the parkouring, the wall climbing, and solving all tons of puzzles. We picked up this Sonic Mega Collection. This pretty much just consists of all the original Sonic games on the Sega Genesis. I actually didn't play a lot of these games growing up. The only time I had access to these original Sonic and Mario games was when I was playing them on the Game Boy Advance. They kind of re-released these on the Game Boy Advance, and I had a couple of these games, but the Genesis and the NES was just way before my time. Cool little collection though, really happy with this pickup. And then lastly, we just picked up this Naruto Clash of Ninja game. This was probably one of the very first Naruto games. This is your traditional anime style fighting game. It's got all your favorite Naruto characters in here as well. So yeah, for 10 bucks again, can't go wrong with that. And that's a wrap for our episode. Gonna get this all added to our collection right now, and we get to put one tally next to Zelda. Slowly making progress on our whiteboard, so happy to see that. That's pretty much all I got though. Thank you guys all for tuning in to this week's episode, and I'll see you all on the next one.